welcome back to Simper Adventure. Today's episode, I am going to talk about the Patriot Express. We've been in Okinawa for about 10 or 11 days now, and I've been meaning to make this video, but somehow the days are long and short all at the same time here. So, we left Seattle a day late, so I want to talk about what happens if you leave late, what happens with COVID. There's a lot of variants that are going on here, and as of today, it is August 11th. So the information I'm giving specifically about COVID has to do with the current standards or requirements. They do change daily. Your best bet is to go to the AMC Seattle website, and on that front page, it's going to have the current information. They are changing it. That is the only place that they change the information. If your flight is delayed, that is the only place you're going to find out. Make sure you know how to get to that AMC Seattle website, because it is the most important information you're going to have. So first of all, we flew into Seattle a couple days early, and we had our COVID tests done there. We had them done, I guess you would say, out in town. We had a rental car. We drove over to get them. Wait to get your COVID tests until the day before you're flying, period. Go ahead and get the rapid ones. They are more expensive. You do have to come out of them out of pocket at first, and then you will get reimbursed when IPAC makes their payment when you get to Okinawa and you get out of Guam. So I think some of this information could be for anywhere other than Okinawa, but the COVID specific information, as of right now, if you are fully vaccinated more than 14 days, you do not have to get a COVID test before coming. This changed just 2 days before ours, and we had already paid for and scheduled our COVID tests, but we just went ahead and got them. The airport COVID test, it is not done by the military. It is done by an independent company. They are $250. You have to sit there and wait for your results. They hand you your results in hand. At least you don't have to figure out a way to print them. So you just go online and go to the SeaTac website and have that scheduled before you get there, instead of trying to wait, and there's different lines for scheduled versus unscheduled. So go ahead and get that done. As of right now, flying to Japan, anyone that is not vaccinated must get a COVID test. Doesn't matter the age, could be a baby. If you're flying to Korea, I believe 6 and below does not need a COVID test, and those who have been vaccinated. So it is a little bit different, so make sure you're looking at the current stuff just days before, and the day before you go. When you get to the airport, if you do not have a COVID test, you will be refused, period, if you need one. Our flight was delayed by 24 hours due to weather. Out here in Okinawa, there's typhoons right now. So our flight was delayed 24 hours for weather. For that, they did not post that until 2 p.m. the day before we were to check in. So I think our check-in time was something like, maybe it was I can't remember. It was like midnight to 6 or something. So instead, they had us come the night that we were to check in anyways. We had to bring all of our luggage, all of our people at midnight, and check in. We were there for 6 hours. The website did not say that we had to bring our people, so we left our 2 daughters sleeping in the hotel room. We do have a teenage daughter. And so we left our 2 daughters sleeping in the hotel room, and we went over to the airport, and we do all the COVID screening. They said, don't worry, we'll just take their temperatures in the morning. And then we get up to the desk and they say they will not do it because they need our daughter's weights and needed to see them. So I had to get on the shuttle and go back to the hotel, and you also have to bring your pets. This is different for us because we were delayed. If you get delayed, you need to know that absolutely everything that is going on that plane must be with you during your check-in. So we had to go back to the hotel, get the cat, that we knew exactly what his weight was, get the kids, come back over. It took us 6 hours. I recommend, if you are delayed and they make you come that night, to come later. Do not come right when they open, because you will wait for 6 hours like we did. Come more like at 4:30 or 5. That's when the window shuts at 5:30. Then, in all of our glory, with our 4 totes, 6 suitcases, 3 carry-ons, our cat, our 3 kids, our book bags, we had to take it all back to the hotel because we were not checking in yet and they didn't have anywhere to keep our luggage. So we had to go back to the hotel with all of our stuff, along with everybody else who had just checked in. And of course, there was lots of people staying at these hotels because we were delayed, so everybody that was on our flight had to stay at a hotel. So then the next day we had available, we took an Uber over to Target and got snacks. I recommend bringing snacks on the plane. More about that in a little bit. I do recommend bringing snacks. So then the next night, our showtime was no later than 6. The flight that was taken off on Thursday was still taking off on Thursday, so we were delayed. They were supposed to take off at 8, and we were supposed to take off at 12. So our no later than date was 6. Our time was 6. So we got there, we got on the 4:30 bus and got to the airport at about 5. We were fast tracked. There was one line for checking in the people who had already checked in, and so we only had to wait about 15 minutes the morning that we checked in, and then we went to TSA where you can't get pre-check. So we made sure the night before that we put all of our electronics into one bag. We only had to open one bag up, and then once we got through TSA, we took all of those electronics and sorted them out between the bags that they actually belonged in, instead of leaving them in the one bag, so that when we were on the airplane, we all had our electronics in our book bags. From there, we went over to the S terminal. I think it was the security terminal or something. I don't know what it was. The S terminal. You had to take a train over there. Right next to our gate was a club. If you're a platinum card holder, you're going to want to listen to this. An Amex platinum card holder. You automatically get the priority pass, and with the priority pass, you get 2 guests for free. So if you have a husband and a wife with a card on the same account, you each can get a priority pass. And then you can get, your children in for free. It's free food, it's free cocktails, it's free beer, it's free breakfast, it's coffee, and it's a nice place to hang out with lots of plugs. So if you are American Express platinum card member, then you definitely want to do this so that you have somewhere to hang out that's not costly. From this platinum lounge, we were able to see the gate that we were getting on. They have two gates, like it was 9A and 9B, I think. So we were able to see the plane that was actually leaving for the Thursday morning flight. They left 2.5 hours late, and then ours finally came. We also left 2.5 hours late. It was just like, they called us to the gate, we sat there, and then they were like, just kidding. And it was delayed for whatever reason. So we were all just sitting on the floor around the gate. Once we got on the plane, I was actually surprised it was not as bad as I thought. But 2 little things. There was lots of leg room for us. We felt there was more compared to a lot of United flights or United States flights, especially the budget ones. So the actual airplane wasn't bad at all. We had in-seat entertainment. It was cold. It was very, very cold. So make sure you bring a blanket for each person. Like, we were trying to wrap our feet up and our arms up, so bring a sweatshirt and blankets. If you're short like me, my feet did not reach the ground, and that was very, very uncomfortable for 15 hours. I have a foot hammock that I can attach to the tray in front of me. You have to watch it with kids because kids aren't as aware and they like to move their feet and everything, and that's attached to the person's seat in front of you. So I have a foot hammock. My ankles swell very bad. They do on our flight, and each one's a little bit different, so just keep that in mind. You may not have this issue on your flight, but on our flight, they had this little section on the seat that kind of folded out for actually tall people, unlike me. So it was definitely a problem with being short. Our flight itinerary was Seattle to Yokota to Iwakuni to Okinawa, which is a pretty standard. There are variances for this. Sometimes they skip Iwakuni, sometimes they go to Guam instead of Japan mainland. So for us, the first flight was 10 hours. In that 10 hours, we got 2 meals. You got one, gosh, I can't remember. But so we were on the line of seats. Row 21 was the last line, so you got what they had left at that time. I think we got like lasagna. The meals were very small. They were okay. They weren't great. I recommend bringing substantial foods, things with protein in them, in case you're still hungry or your kids are. Things like beef jerky or things that will keep, but you can throw in your book bag and won't make a mess on a plane. So we got the first meal, and it comes with like a little ice cream, it was a few bites of lasagna, and then frozen vegetables that were heated up, and a little piece of bread. I think and some kind of like little salad, like a quinoa salad or something. And of course a drink. Then you got another one before you got off the plane, like an hour and a half before you got off the plane. And it was, again, some kind of pasta-y thing. You could get like spaghetti, or you could get chicken with kind of like, it was grilled chicken with pasta sauce on it. So it wasn't great, but it was food, so that fit the bill. When we got off in Yokota, there was a trailer that was the terminal. It did not fit everybody. Everybody has to get off the plane there. You walk down the stairs over to where they pull the pets off so that the pets can relieve themselves. But everybody has to get off the plane. There is a family bathroom and a women's and a men's bathroom in this trailer. And there's a tent outside that serves some food and drinks. If you want to get some Japanese beer, that's a great welcome to the island and the country. We were there for about an hour and a half and then got back on the plane. And we sat on the plane for a bit. They had to finish refueling and such. And then we flew the hour and a half I think it was about an hour, to Iwakuni. And we didn't get off the plane there. It was a 2-hour stop on the tarmac. And we were, by this point, they gave us snacks on that flight. And it was a really nice snack box. It had like Haribo gummy bears in it and some breadsticks with cheese. It was like a snack pack. And that was an excellent snack. So we landed in Iwakuni, and then we were totally in and out of consciousness by this point. It was really such a blur. It was like, we had just gone to Dubai, and I had not experienced this type of fatigue. I'm not sure if it was all the adrenaline going up to it, knowing that we were moving here, if it was the fact that we were delayed by 28 hours. It was just miserable. And so that flight, we were in and out of conscious, like the whole 2 hours we were on the tarmac. It was not just me, it was, you could just look around and everyone was really, really done by then. The trip took, from start to finish, I started a timer, exactly 15 hours. The last leg was an hour and a half. Things to note is that your seat back entertainment does not always work. your charging stations do not always work. So you need to plan for you and your family as if you don't have seat back entertainment and you don't have power. So make sure you bring a box with you to charge devices, and make sure you download content to an iPad, an iPhone, something, because if you're the unlucky one in the seat where it doesn't work, they can't do anything about it. The flight was 100% full. I don't think there was a single empty seat on our flight from Seattle to Yokota. Once in Yokota, people get off and people get on, and the same with Iwakuni. By the time we got to Okinawa, I would say we were probably about 60% full. So once you get to Yokota, you probably, if you needed to, could move seats if they let you. But that first 10 hours is going to be rough with nothing to do. So your takeaways here: check the COVID and the status of your flight like several times the day before you leave, and make sure you have your COVID tests or your vaccination cards if you have those. Make sure you bring ample snacks. Make sure you have some kind of entertainment, especially for kids, in case your entertainment does not work. And also make sure you bring blankets for everyone, because you will need them. It was so cold, so cold. And last but not least, the baggage claim here in Kadena. It took us hours to get our stuff out. There's not enough carts. There's not big carts for everyone. The sponsors are not allowed inside. They have to stay outside. So our sponsor was waiting outside. So we were able to get a cart because we had a pet, a big cart. So we were able to pile a bunch of our stuff onto that cart and then take it out to him. He loaded it in the car while we waited for more. Since we had 2 flights, some of it came on the earlier flight. Some of our stuff came on the earlier flight. Some of their stuff came on our flight. So if there's not room on the small baggage claim, then they can't put anything else out. So their stuff was circling around, so someone had to come out and pull that off if nobody had claimed it yet. You do need, before you get to baggage claim, you're going to need to fill out a form for customs and a form for, I think it was COVID stuff. So you have to show your passport, you have to show your orders. So make sure you have one of those handy, in that book bag that you're taking on the flight that you can grab easily. For us, my husband went to one line, I went to the other line, and then I took the kids down to baggage claim, so we weren't all just standing around. For pets, you have to go over to the pet desk. You have to show them all the paperwork that you prepared with the quarantine, with the 10-day health certificate, your rabies vaccine signed in blue ink. All of that has to get shown, and then you have to fill out some forms saying that you understand what the quarantine process is for the pets and that you will make an appointment. We've had a lot of problems with that appointment. We finally got one 2 weeks in. So you'll have to send these forms. You fill out one form there, and then they give you a packet of forms that you fill out, and then you have to email them to the Kadena vet, and then you have to call them the next day to make the appointment. I think that's about it. Other things that are good to know: in Yokota, you will have Wi-Fi, so you can message your sponsor and let your sponsor know if you if you just have, your cell phone with you and you don't have like T-Mobile where you have a global plan. You can message your sponsor from Wi-Fi in Yokota. And from Yokota to Okinawa, it was about, I think, 5 hours was the amount of time.
It is very dark, 30 in the morning. Fortunately, we're leaving at 12 and not 8, so we got about 4 extra hours of sleep. Heading for the airport. Okinawa, we're bust.
In all of our excitement, our flight has been delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed. I think we're now, first it was delayed by 24 hours. Well, I guess 28 hours, and now it's delayed I don't know, going on an hour and a half now, and then they just keep saying it's going to be delayed a little more. He's sitting on the floor here. So some notes. When you're checking in, there's a gunny for the Marine Corps, and then there's a bunch of Air Force service members. So if you're another branch, you may not have a liaison here. The gunny is kind of the liaison for the Marine Corps, so you can go ask questions. If you're a Marine, probably Navy affiliated too, I would guess. Another thing to note is that these flights do not exist. You will not see them on trackers. You will not see them on the boards here at the airport. Even if you see it sitting on the runway and you can see the plane in front of it and the plane behind it when you're looking at flight trackers, this flight does not exist at all. So if you want to share it with loved ones, you're not going to be able to do that. It's just link. So we're going to sit and wait a little longer. Hopefully soon it is time to go. Here we go. I think that's it. I know this is a lot of information. Of course, if you have any questions or you want me to give more information about any specific thing, message below, and I'll be sure to either comment or make another video answering the question. So until next time, so long from Semper Adventure.